Welcome to the Week 10 track guide for Le Mans. If you guys got to this part of the video, please remember to just like, comment, and subscribe. Alright, for this week's track conditions, race time will be at 5 p.m. Air temp will be right around 19 degrees Celsius or 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Depending on cloud cover, track temps should range anywhere from 22 to 35 degrees Celsius or 72 to 95 degrees Fahrenheit. There will be no chance of rain in both the fixed and open divisions this week. And time for the Sugar Hill tip of the week. The only tip I have for you this week is just to be mindful of your tires on lap 1, especially all the way down to the first chicane on the Mulsanne straight. Setups this week have zero downforce, so expect a very minimal grip until the tires warm up. Alright, let's get on with the track guide portion of the video. Turn 1. You want to open this up as much as you can by getting on the painted lines on the left hand side and start your turn in just after the pit lane exit. You want to pull yourself to the right hand side and then start braking on this mat. About 80% brake pressure and then downshift all the way down to second. It's important here for turn 2 to use as much of this curb here as you can, so you can open up your entry for turn 3. You want to apply the throttle in between the corners, and then just before the apex of turn 3 you want to get off the throttle before getting back on it. What I did here is I probably got on it a little too hard and just got myself a little squirrely. The off track here, and we'll also add a 1 second time penalty, is if you go past these white and red little bollards on the left hand side. Keeping it to the left hand side just after the Dunlap bridge. You just kind of follow this road down, and then you want to start braking for turn 4 just after those red bollards on the right hand side, in between that and just when you're approaching this little sidewalk on the right hand side. It's a quick 70% jab, and then you want to just downshift twice to third gear. By the time you hit the apex, you want to start getting back on the throttle and hold it wide open for turn 5. Moving down to turn 6. Turn 6 is a small 10 to 15% brush of the brakes, and just before the apex you want to start throttling up. It's important here to not scrub off too much speed and use as much of this off track as you can. The off track here is when your right hand side tires leave the curb, so this is about as much as you can take without taking it off track. Going down the Mulsanne strengths, you want to just keep them on either the left or right hand side. You don't want to keep it in the middle or the car will just ground out. Approaching turn 7 here, my braking point is as the car is just alongside this yellow tip of the wall. It's about like 130-ish meters, maybe 140-ish. You can brake very hard, about 90-95%, all the way up to 100%, just because you're carrying a lot of speed. There's a lot of aerodynamic load on the car, and you'll just be able to downshift all the way down to second. Just after the first apex, you just want to give it a small little pump, about 25% brake, just so you can get the front end to steer out of turn 7. Start applying the throttle and let it run out from curb to curb. Make sure to not take too much of that curb, or you'll just bottom out and lose a little bit of straightaway speed going down to turn 8. For turn 8 here, you want to start braking about 85%, right around 120 meter board, or 120 meters, just before the 100 meter board. Downshift to second. This is the same thing as turn 7. Just after the first apex, you want to just give it a small little pump of just a little bit of extra brake, just so you can get the front end to steer and get over to the apex for turn 8. Just after the apex, you want to get back on the throttle, let it run from curb to curb, and carry all your speed all the way down to turn 10, 9, or 9. Approaching turn 9, you're still holding it wide open all the way down to the curb on the right hand side. Just as you approach the curb on the right hand side, you just want to straighten the car out and try to brake in the straight line as much as you can. Downshift all the way down to first gear, and then slowly apply the throttle when you get the car straightened on exit, and make sure to use all the curb here, and you can actually even touch that gravel without taking it off track. As you approach turn 10 here, you just want to give it about 30% brake pressure and then downshift to 5th, making sure to keep it to the right hand side of the track, and then downshift all the way down to 2nd for turn 11. Turn 11 has a pretty good amount of bank in there, so you can get on the throttle pretty aggressively, so you can carry a little bit speed down to turn 12. For turn 12 here, you want to brake a little early just because the track's super flat for this corner. About 70 meters, about 80% brake pressure. And then make sure to use the curb here at the apex, and then slowly get on the throttle. The off track here is when your right hand side tires make it past the track and they're actually on this blue and yellow rumble strip. So make sure to keep 2 tires on the track just to avoid that off track there. Moving down to Porsche curves, you just want to make sure to keep your steering angle in mind, because you can easily overheat these tires in these fast sweepers. For turn 13 here, you want to start braking just before that gray concrete on the left hand side, and downshift to 5th gear, throttling up just before the apex, and holding it wide open all the way around turn 14. As you approach turn 15, you want to get off the throttle and then downshift to 4th gear in preparation for turn 16. You want to start throttling up as necessary, but your goal here is to keep it to the right hand side on exit so you can have a nice good exit out of turn 17. So throttle up as necessary, but make sure to keep it to that white line on the right hand side. Turn 17 here has a blind turn in. Really it's just after you're done turning for turn 16, that's when you want to start turning for turn 17. Off track here is when your left hand side tires go past that white line, that will result in an off track as well as a 1-second slowdown. Moving down to turn 18, you want to start braking just as you miss the pit entry commitment line, about 80%, and trail brake in. Make sure to use all the curb here at the apex, and quickly downshift to 3rd. Give it another quick little jab of brakes just so you can get the rotation in the car, and then try to yank it over to the right hand side. It's not necessarily get all the way over to the right hand side, just try to get it on the right hand side of the track, and open up for turn 20 and 21. For turn 20, you just want to apply about 40% brake pressure, and just a quick left and right, and then get back on the throttle nice and gently. Make sure not to get off track here. Pit entries on the right hand side right after turn 17 and just before turn 18. Just as you approach that yellow curbing on the left hand side, that's when you want to start applying your brakes, and just make sure to hit this mini chicane for the pit entry. If you cut that, that'll result in a 40-second time penalty that will be added to your pit stop. This week you'll only need about 13 laps of fuel. You'll be able to Complete 7 laps on your first tank of gas, and then you'll have to pit on lap 8. You'll need to fill up about 31.5 liters or 8.82 gallons. I'd recommend just not taking any tires because there's really not too much tire deg this week. I really appreciate anyone that's made it to this part of this video, and I'll see you guys all next week for week 11 at Algarve.
The ones who heard my cries and watched me weep, I love everything.